All right, now that we're back at the shop, the first thing I want to do is thank Chip Foose again for the matching of the Taco purple paint. We now have an exact match of the original Taco purple paint, thanks to Chip Foose. What I want to get into first is I want to get into a little bit of American mini bike history. The first company to mass produce the mini bike was the Go-Kart Manufacturing Company. They started in 1957 with their put-together, mail-ordered go-kart, which exploded on them. By 1958, they were the biggest manufacturers of go-karts, mass-producing thousands of go-karts. But they came up with another idea, to take the same little two-stroke engine they were using in the go-kart and created a two-wheel vehicle. So go-kart manufacturing started to mass-produce the mini bike from about 1958 to about 1963. In 1963, the Go-Kart Manufacturing Company went bankrupt. Steen's catalog had become the accessory hot rod parts catalog for go-karts, mini bikes, motorcycles, midgets. John Steen knew well enough that the go-kart market was saturated, but the mini bike market had yet to be tapped. And with go-kart manufacturing going out of business, he knew it was time to build his own mini bike. So in 1963, Steen's offered the very first Taco mini bike. So that's American mini bike history. If you want to find out the full detailed history about American mini bikes, go to my website, www.steenstacomini-bikes.com. Now, I'm so crazy and obsessed over the Taco mini bike that I've actually found every single model from 1963 to 1971. These are some of them right here. They're in various states of condition and restoration. Eventually, I will get each one of these bikes restored, and I'm going to highlight them on CarCast. The first bike I actually do want to highlight, though, is my 1967 Taco 44. This is it. It's a Survivor. It's unrestored. It's all original. It's all here. And when I found it on eBay, it was really dirty. It had been sitting in a basement or a garage for probably 20 or 30 years. But it's all intact. All I did was disassemble it, clean it with WD-40, and put it back together. So this is an unrestored 1967 Taco 44. All right, the first thing I'm going to go over is the front suspension. The Tacos, the earlier Tacos, were a lower spring cast aluminum knuckle for the front axle. The rear suspension consisted of Chiriani shocks in the rear and a flat bar metal swing arm that was attached to the frame. The original Taco 44 actually used a tubular swing arm that was incorporated into the jack shaft. That probably 6 months into the run, they redesigned and came up with this. It was a more durable and stable swing arm. I'm sure that the jack shaft integrated into the swing arm was a really poor decision when you probably had a bunch of kids jumping curbs, going in the dirt, and it was bound to fail. So they upgraded it to the new improved flat bar, welded into the frame model. The engine on the Taco 44 was a 3-horsepower Briggs & Stratton. It's a 4-cycle, much more reliable than the 2-stroke chainsaw engine that you had to mix oil and gas and get the right formula. And if you didn't do it right, it was too smoky if you had too much oil. And if you didn't have enough oil, you seized the engine. And it was a real pain in the ass to get started. So the Briggs moved in probably about 66 for the first Taco 44, and Taco ended up using that 4-stroke engine for probably the rest of the run of the mini bike craze. The other thing that was kind of brand new was the chain guard cover. This is the first time that Taco actually put their logo on the chain guard cover. It was the smaller logo, the smaller round logo, about the size of a, I don't know, silver dollar. The logo that we're more familiar with is the tall, fat lettered Taco encompassing the whole chain guard cover. The grips, of course, were Hunt Wild. All Taco 44s had a drum brake activated by the chrome lever handle. In 1967, this was probably the first year they started using the Taco decal as a front badge for the mini bike. I can't seem to find any other models where it's earlier than that. So 67, I think, is the first year they started using the Taco decal as a badge. Also on the top of the forks, there's the Steen's manufacturer of Alhambra, California, went on the top of the forks. There's also the Taco seat, what some people call the ducktail rear on the Taco seats. The little rear ducktail is what kind of held your ass in place so you didn't slide off. Another neat thing that Taco did that most mini bike companies didn't do is there was a serial number incorporated in the frames. And the serial number, you could figure out what the model was, what year, and what the production run was. So that's my 1967 Taco 44. Like I said, I'm going to, as I finish restoring them, I'm going to highlight each one of the Taco models. But another thing I'd like to start doing on CarCast is, if you have an original American 60s mini bike, and it's pretty original, if you've restored it, or it's a survivor, I'd like to know about it. And if we can, we'll get you over here and we're going to highlight your mini bike on CarCast. So that's it for now. Thanks for hanging in there and watching my mini bike crap, and see you next time.